Macmillan Audio presents The End of Procrastination by Peter Ludwig and Adela Schicker. Read for you by Kirby Heyborne. Hope is not the conviction that something will turn out well, but the certainty that something makes sense, regardless of how it turns out. V. Havel. Author's Preface. Approximately 10 years ago, I was convinced that my life was over. My brain had unexpectedly stopped controlling one half of my body. I was overcome by fear and a feeling of powerlessness, yet at the same time, I felt an eerie sense of peace. As I lay in bed, my entire life flashed before my eyes. At one point, it seemed as if I was traveling down a tunnel towards a light. It was just like in the movies. I began summing up my life, thinking about my failures and accomplishments. I slowly came to grips with the fact that I was dying. But fortunately, as it turned out, I had been mistaken. A few days later, everything was slowly getting back to normal, luckily without any sign of harm. I had survived a close encounter with death. It was the most powerful experience I have ever had in my life. Later, so that I would never forget that moment, I jotted down the following thought to myself. I want to die knowing that I lived life to the fullest. When I set off fulfilling this resolution, I discovered that I would have to defeat a very fierce enemy: procrastination. So, a few friends and I decided to get to the bottom of why we tended to put things off and why we were so indecisive and ineffective. We soon discovered that a large number of scientific studies had been conducted on these very same issues in recent years. Based on these studies, we put together a practical toolkit for fighting procrastination. Once we realized that these methods worked for us, we decided that it would be beneficial to share them with as many people as possible. We began offering training courses for the public as well as lectures for university students. Helping other people better utilize their time and potential brought meaning to our work. I was inspired to create effective tools for fighting procrastination by my travels around the world. Over the course of years, I visited a large number of leading companies. I had the opportunity to personally consult with executives from these companies about how they motivate their workers and how they increase employee effectiveness. In the past decade, more than 100,000 people have attended our training courses, and I have also held numerous individual counseling sessions. Based on my clients' experiences and feedback, we slowly began to perfect our tools into their present form. At some point, a publisher approached me and asked if I wanted to write a book. What a great challenge, was my first thought. It also seemed like an exceptional way to further test the methods I teach. But would I procrastinate or not procrastinate when it actually came to writing a book about procrastination? Since I am an extrovert who is used to working with people, I teach and provide counseling. Writing this book became one of the greatest challenges of my life. In order not to put off writing, a typically introverted activity and therefore not something I was used to doing, I had to deploy all my anti-procrastination weapons at full strength. Since you are listening to this book, it means I was successful. I hope you enjoy listening to it, and I wish you all the best in your fight against procrastination. You will gradually succeed. I am sure of it. Peter Ludwig. Introduction. What is procrastination and why fight it? Procrastinus, Latin for belonging to tomorrow. Procrastination means put.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?